what you might call it, with conditions. These things have to be annulled, and then the works returned. But like they keep saying, return to where? I've been asked that question, and I keep telling them, well, we have a lot of valuable things in Nigeria. We keep them in bank vaults, we keep them in private vaults, we keep them in different places, and moreover, if these artifacts were not safe, you wouldn't have seen them to loot. They were kept somewhere. You came, you saw them. Many of them were 600 years old, 700 years old. At the time you looted them. So they've been safe for 700 years. What's your problem? You know? But we also have fears that these things have to be kept properly, have to be displayed properly, have to be kept according to best global practice. And that's the reason why the governor said, okay, in collaboration with the palace, with the Royal Court of Benin, with the NCMM, with virtually all the stakeholders, what do we do to ensure that these things, when they return, are kept properly, are preserved properly, and are put on display properly? And hence the decision to build this museum.
So how do you think the Benin Museum would disrupt the space and provide more rooms for artistic expression?
Thank you. You know, when you create a space that engenders a certain type of activity, what then happens is that you have more of that activity. For instance, if you go and put a very massive swimming pool somewhere, you're going to have more people coming to swim. And so if you have this museum that has these lovely facilities, that have, it's built according to global standards, what then happens is that people are encouraged to explore these sectors, to seek jobs in these sectors. Yeah. Schools around, especially in schools also, will be encouraged to create curriculum to accommodate museum studies, restoration, things that happen in that sector. And then what then happens is that you are creating a whole new sector that will provide employment, that will provide knowledge, that will provide opportunities. And then do not also forget that, with your sister museums, you can always earn a lot of money when you give works on loan. And so you have, and then the footprints. The British Museum attracts 5.9 million visitors every year. Now, if 5.9 million people coming through the door are spending £10, just go figure, do the maths.
Okay. In your profile, I read that you seek through consistent experiment to use your art in the quest to encourage humanity, to seek for truth, and highlight environmental issues and its correlation to human trafficking, social issues, and of course their effects in the society. Yeah. Now let's talk about human trafficking.
Yes.
How, with the governor's handling of the Libya returnees, at the very beginning, there was condemnation from a lot of corners and all that. So you have been in Benin for a very long time. So how would you say the governor handled the Libyan returnees?
Well, for me, I think he did excellently well considering the circumstances. What he was seeking to do was sort of novel. It was not something that a lot of people could see through. He also realized that you just can't keep telling people don't travel, and then you do not create an alternative. And that is why you see the Edo Jobs Initiative, you see the Production Center Initiative, you see even our Edo Global, where National Studios is, the initiative, and the Agricultural Initiative. So what he has tried to do is to create opportunities for young people to be able to become entrepreneurs and to have an alternative to wanting to travel. And then a lot of education was also done because I helped in the public relations, creating imagery and all of that for this. Seminars, talks. And, I think the most important thing is consistency. He has been consistent in the past 4 years with highlighting this problem, with addressing it, and then collaborating with the intended destination of these people who are trafficked. And so you can see that by collaborating with Italy, collaborating with European countries, he was able to ensure that it's a two-way thing. You you are the beneficiaries of of when these traffickers come to your place, and you do not like the effect on your economy, on your environment, or your society. Okay, so we are setting up this and this and this to create opportunities. Why don't you collaborate with us to fund it, so that we can create these opportunities? So that's why you see, if you go to the Edo Innovation Hub, for instance, they're going to see Facebook, you're going to see LinkedIn, you're going to see Google. They're all collaborating with the Edo Jobs and Edo Innovative Hub to create opportunities to train young people, to explain things to them. Because the digital economy has created an opportunity that ensures that you can work remotely from anywhere. You can be in Benin and be working for people in India, in China, because all it does, when you learn to code or you learn to design or create stuff that they require, you do it, you send it to them, you don't have to leave your country. So if you want to leave your country, you can go and do it properly. Get properly invited, go and seek a visa, buy a decent ticket to get on economic class if you want.
But it's been said that the governor is fighting a very, very strong cartel.
Oh yes, oh yes. The truth of the matter is that a lot of godfathers in that sector are well entrenched in society. And make no mistake, they are part of those who have formed the opposition to fight the governor, even politically, because they know that this type of sustained fight against them for 8 years would lead to them becoming extinct at the pace the governor is going. The governor has received a lot of commendation from international bodies talking about this, because he has drawn attention to the plight of Edo citizens. First of all, he did a survey. And from that survey, we found out that 80% of those who were being trafficked were coming from two particular local governments, Oriongo and Ego. And then, when we've been on search light on Ego, we found out that Ego was merely a transit point. So they come from Oriongo. So these people go to poach for these people in the hinterland, where they know in the very deep rural areas where awareness is still very limited. And so they bring them to these places, keep them on the outskirts of Benin, Ego and all those other places, sort of condition them to what they want to do before they move them out.
Not that most of them are originally from these local
No.
governments.
So with that, the governor was able to tell the pattern of the traffickers and to know how to go after them. And so that has led to a situation where many of them are being arrested. And then, of course, you know, he did it in collaboration with the Omonobanedo Kwapolopolo by Egwari II, who came out to make public pronouncements against the traffickers, and to also give enough confidence to those who are being trafficked to speak out without fear of reprisals from whatever oaths they have been subjected to. And so you see, with this kind of collaboration and this working together with traditional institutions, he has been able to bring about a massive reduction, a drastic reduction in the activities of the traffickers, and to ensure that a lot of them are also, when they are caught, they are prosecuted. And then to also ensure that the returnees are treated fairly, they are trained, and then rehabilitated. The truth of the, and we have to also be fair to know that there's nowhere in the world where you are going to have 100% success rate at the beginning. In the beginning, it's something that you have to keep working at. But so far, anybody will attest that Governor Godwin Noyase Obaseki has carried out the most activities in this area. And this has led, I mean, the figures don't lie, it has led to a drastic reduction in the trafficking. Then you talk about environmental degradation.
Yes.
The former director of Okomu National Park was a friend of mine. And he used to come to, you know, he used to talk to me about how he does not understand how a man can have so much passion for the environment. And I was like, how do you mean? He said, the Okomu National Park is the smallest in the country. There are 7 national parks. And the one in Edo State is the smallest. But it has the most biodiversity. And he said the governor threw a cordon around it immediately he came in to stop the loggers. Because the more you log, so it shrinks. So you find all the other animals and stuff coming back into a small area and then bringing about pressure on that area. And so the animals there begin to compete for scarce resources because they are being forced into one limited area. And he brought the attention to the governor he spoke to me about it. And I said, should go and see the governor. He was like, how? What does he do? I said, get in the car. And we drove there. I said, come on, this is the... I said, that's the man I want to see. Come in, sit down. So you were saying what? He picked up the phone. This man is, listen to him. There's some people there. Get onto it right now. Nobody should fell a tree in that. Blah, blah, blah. And a couple of weeks later, this man now has been posted away. He called me last week. He was posted away months ago. He called me last week to say he wants to thank me, and he hopes that the governor comes back, because the amount of protection and the way he was very proactive in protecting the Okumu National Park, he had never seen that kind of thing before.
Thank you very much. All right, you can be part of this program. I want to believe that a Kingsley would have been able to type it right now, 0905-170-2571. When we come back, we shall be taking a look at the entertainment industry in Edo State. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Enote, there is a question here from Osas Rio. No, just hold on a second. No, sorry, Momo Duke. It says, apart from Benin or South Senatorial District, what is the arts and culture package you have for the Edo North and Central Senatorial Districts? He said, Enotie, your emphasis has been Benin. Edo is one big family. That is from Momo Duke.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, but if you also recall, I spoke about the proposed museum being an institution that will house artifacts from all over Edo, Nigeria, and I even mentioned West Africa. Now, what the governor has done is to do a culture mapping of the entire state. So, for instance, Ososo, which is in Akoko Edo, then the caves also in Akoko Edo, and then in Esako, you can see he has continued to support the Okpekpe race.
Yeah. And
then he's also developing some additional activities, because the hill climbing competition was supposed to have been planned, especially for those areas.
In Edo North?
In Edo North. But more than this, what he decided to do also was to create culture centers in the various senatorial districts. And the reason for this was that everybody can't come to Benin, to the capital, to have access to this. And so these cultural centers are going to be places that are hubs for culture and art activities. They will also be fused with digital and IT activities. And so you're going to have the Edo hub, innovation hub, replicating in collaboration with the arts and culture sector in these various places, so that in one place you can provide cultural activities, space for cultural activities, you can provide space for activities, internet accessibility, and then libraries, e-libraries. Now, these libraries are going to be developed in the different senatorial districts. And so there's a lot happening. And then also, don't forget, culture clubs were created all over in all schools. And these culture clubs are being encouraged to bring about competition, to ensure that schools compete and then they now come for the grand finale. And this is the reason why a lot of schools across the state were nominated to be part of the Edo Fest and to also be a part of the NAFest. Okay. It was like an introduction to them. And so, yeah, this is part of the unfolding scenario. There is a comprehensive study that has been done of all the cultural sites and heritage sites all over the state. And so the planning is ongoing right now. Okay. And hopefully, after the governor is sworn in for his second term, he will unfold the Grand Master Tourism Plan. Okay. That is
now, all work and no play.
Yes.
So let's talk about the entertainment industry in Edo State. Yes. What do you have to say?
Yes, for the entertainment industry in Edo State, I think what the governor has tried to do is to also create a platform where they can interact. For instance, the Edo Innovative Hub and Edo Jobs had come out with a series of programs to help the established artists interact with youth to pass knowledge, to train them. So they've done this for music, they've done this for movie making. At our own center, we have a monthly film festival, Edo Films, that we do, where we encourage people to do short films, and then we screen for the audience who come. And then a filmmaker, an accomplished filmmaker, gives a feedback to help them improve their processes. So we're doing that for 6 months, more than 6 months. But
are you collaborating with Lancelot Oduwa Maswe?
Well, we're collaborating with Adesua, who's a renowned filmmaker. She was one of those who started the Ebony Life TV, one of the first producers who started Ebony Life TV.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That established it and all of that before she left. So she came up with the idea, and then we gave her the place to anchor it, and then encourage to do that. So there's a master plan coming up, you know, is that the entertainment sector should be enhanced with training. And then facilities are being developed to ensure that people have access to equipment, they have access to video editing equipment, they can be trained on these things, and then they are also supported to start up.
Financially?
Oh yeah, financially and with equipment. Do Jobs has done that numerous times, so it's nothing that has not been done. And then, of course, the first time you're having statewide cultural competitions, and they are being rewarded and all of that. So I think the entertainment sector is in for a very bright future. Also, the governor instituted the Edo Ensemble, which is like a replica of the Muson in Lagos. So the idea was to bring these experienced singers to come and teach young people who are interested in singing, in choir, in classical music, in learning how to play classical instruments, or just instruments. Okay. So it's in the works to create an academy Yeah, where the young people can go freely at very subsidized rates to train themselves.
Thank you. Now, as a young person in Edo, would you say that the governor has brought a new urgency to development? If yes, why? And if no, why?
I would say yes. And the reasons are, like I stated earlier, you know, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Okay. So the governor has put in a very robust system of planning so that, and he does not plan from his cuff, off the cuff. He plans with data. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand about this government. Because imagine you have a state of 4 million people, and if you do not know your state is 4 million people, and you begin to plan for 2 million people, you're going to be in trouble. So the first thing he does is to plan, to get the data about that particular sector. Once he gets the data, he can now plan to the last person. And then with this, what you find is that all the areas are being covered, which involve young people, especially. So catch them young, catch them early, primary school. They are now being taught with a curriculum which puts them at par with global best practice. Okay. Secondary schools. You can see that with the enhancement of the environment of teachers, salaries, and all of that, you are having a more robust engagement. And then you're talking about technical vocational colleges. One has just been developed at the former Benin Technical College. The one at Igweraki is just kicking off. He has planned technical colleges for each of the senatorial districts. So the prototype has now just been completed at the Benin Technical College site. And so you find out with all of that, young people are going to have more options at their fingertips. So now that's for vocational training. Now, if you're talking about going into the IT world, you have the Edo Innovation Hub, where collaborations with LinkedIn, collaborations with Yahoo, collaborations with Google, collaborations with Microsoft, Facebook are yielding results because people can now sit here, have classmates in America, have classmates in Japan, have classmates in Turkey, have classmates in Mali, and you are learning the same standard of IT education that is found anywhere else in the world. So what it does is that it creates an educated workforce, both vocationally, and then those who can also be involved in research, so that at the end of the day, Edo becomes a center where manpower, trained manpower, can be employed and taken to any part of the world, where trained manpower can be entrepreneurial and set up their own businesses, and therefore bring about employment to other young people. You see? So I think with the kind of energy where they look at sports, now a befitting sports arena has been developed. Look at the amount of mini stadia that has been developed in different primary schools across the state. So at the end of the day, you're going to, and the more are going to be built. The Games Village in Afuze is going to be prepared. So many places, because at the end of the day, when you create this enabling environment, you create a whole industry. The basketball industry in America is a whole industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Volleyball, tennis, swimming, name it. So if we give this opportunity to these people, to our young people, to get involved, be trained, and be exposed to global best standards, then they can compete anywhere in the world, earn a living, and contribute to the development of the environment or the society.
Thank you. All right, we'll take our last break now. We'll come back, we'll go to our page and take one or two comments. Thank you.
My name is Eseosa Igaro. I am a pupil of Adelsua Primary School in Benin City. Anytime I'm going to school, I am full of excitement. I am excited because of the beauty of my school. Our classrooms are well furnished, and of course, our teachers teach us very well. Our teachers with new techniques and electronic devices have made learning very easy and fast. I cannot wait to be in school again tomorrow.
No play at Desuwa Primary School for Benin. This Obaseki wonder dey happen for 931 schools for Edo State. Make we clap for Governor Godwin Obaseki as he don turn teachers to digital teachers and our children to Akowe. This message now from concerned citizens of Edo State.
You're welcome back. Now, Enote, let's go to our page. Okay, let's see. I think we've, let me see. Okay, this one is coming from Faith Owen. It's a comment. She says, I've been screaming about the beautification of the moat for so long. Thank you, Obaseki, for making it come to pass. And then Osaz Erio, although replying to Ima Ekata Q-Man, says, why not ask yourself why we are hearing about this now? Is it because of election? Again, just hearing about bogus claims. Does this mean that we actually see these claims on ground? I'm not trying to bash the government. Some good things have been done.
Okay, well, the thing is that if you see the format of Governor Godwin Obaseki, you will know that the sobriquet of wait and see was not by accident. He's not somebody who goes to commission projects and goes to put them on billboards and celebrate stuff. He believes that governance should be demystified. Governance should be carried out in such a way that you can take things for granted. You can say, okay, the governor has paid his salary, so it's part of governance.
Thank you.
The governor has done this road. It's part of governance. So he's not going to beat his trumpet. That's why you're not hearing about them. But for me, I've been in the middle of these activities. And I'm like, okay, if people do not know about these activities, then it's time we share. I'll share my personal experiences. I mean, you can see I'm talking from off the cuff. I'm not reading from a book or trying to cram any points. I was there. I saw these things. I saw the intention. I saw the vision. It's not something that he's trying to use to impress anybody. So I'm coming here to say it now so I can share with people, so that people can have hope. There are lots of people out there who are involved in these activities, clandestine. I mean, on the ground, it's not something that we're screaming about because we want to achieve results. And I can assure you, if you see the kind of plans that have been put in place to achieve these things, to ensure that young people across the state can be meaningfully engaged, that young people across the state can be meaningfully educated across the state, can be encouraged to become role models themselves. It's a chain reaction. It has a multiplier effect. They have to become, people who can take, but who can always give back.
Thank you. Yes, in your profile, it was written that you are also a singer. So you want to sing for us? We've never had somebody sing for us on this program. Let's have some entertainment.
Okay. So what should I do? English song or Edo song?
As the spirit leads.
Okay. Well, let me say that with the coming of Godwin Obaseki to it, there's a song, a famous song that took on a whole new meaning for me. And it was done by a famous globally renowned artist, Louis Armstrong. So we hear, I see trees are green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of a rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people by and by. I see friends holding hands, saying, how do you do? What they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. When I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful world promised for you if you elect Governor Obaseki as next governor. September 19th to be sworn in, and I can tell you it will come to pass.
Thank you very much. Enotie Ogbebor.
And for those of you who think that we can't also do Benin, oh yeah, man. Yo, yeah, man. Samo. Yo, bano kedo.
Thank you very much. This is really entertainment. Enotie Ogbebor, an artist, a songwriter, and of course a consultant to a state government. So we'd like to say a big thank you to everybody that has contributed, the comments, and for those of you that asked questions, the technical crew, the production, very much. And if you listened from the beginning, you heard talking about Sir David Frank Ajayi. Sir David Frank Ajayi is just 53 years old, and of course he is a Tanzanian, although Tanzanian. Yes.
David Ajayi?
Yes, yes. And then a British architect. He designed the National Museum and African American History and Culture Center in Washington, D.C. And it says, Edo is the Rome of Africa. My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Good evening.
No man is God, Obaseki or governor, forward ever, backward never, let's go further together. God doing Obaseki, Obaseki, he's the right candidate for Edo. Vote our man oh yeah, 4 + 4 equals to continuity. Oh, yes. Dogba, Obaseki, continue your work. You do Ogbe Stadium renovation, even with the do best. Plenty achievement for your time, our life will done better. Obaseki Ashaibu, now them be the winning team. God doing Obaseki, Dogba.